Welcome back to another episode of the Korn Ferry Tour Junkies podcast. I'm your host, Garrett Simmons. We're coming at you. I haven't been canceled yet. 3 weeks in. We're finishing up the Bahamas swing this past week. A couple of days off. We're back onto the normal schedule of events with a Monday practice round start, Thursday first round start. Not coming at you live tonight because DB and Pat are hogging the feed, talking, I guess, AT&T, whatever they're talking about this week. I didn't hit a winner last week. Can't win them all unless you're DB. DB hit another winner last week with Luke List, and we'll get to Luke List a little bit later in the podcast. We got a special guest on tonight, a former player, and just an all-around legend. So can't wait to have him on. The odds actually have not been released this week, so we'll come out either later in the week with some odds pod. But yeah, we're in Panama this week. The land. I guess not the land down under, but a lot of stuff happens down there on the golf course and off the golf course. Hopefully we'll get into a little bit of that today. And par 72, 7,100 yards. Again, our guest tonight is just an overall legend. I don't want to give it away too early, but he'll be able to break it down and help us out with the course breakdown and what to expect with the guys, that you're seeing this week. Anything else? No ads yet, so I don't have any of that to reel. But yeah, without further ado, I want to welcome on 6-time professional winner, ex-Korn Ferry player, ex-PGA Tour player, former winner at the Panama Championship, Mr. Ed Loar. Ed, welcome on. What's going on, man?
Hey Garrett, good to be with you, brother. Man, look forward to this.
I'm glad we could. I'm glad we could make it happen. And I didn't know what time your bedtime was, but I'm glad we could swing it.
Well, I just got the kids to sleep, and yes, my bedtime is shortly here after we'll be done with this. But happy to hop on with you, brother.
Good deal. Yeah. Before, I guess I forgot the infamous. I got a diet course. Ed, are you drinking? Are you still going full blown keto?
Not quite like I should be. In and out. I've been doing some experimenting with a little intermittent fasting.
Okay.
But once I got off the road and started hanging around my kids, the Chick-fil-A temptation was just too much for the keto, and we all know my affinity for Whataburger, but I still try to take decent care of myself, but I need to do better. But no, I'm not drinking. I just got my trusty Go Pokes water cup here.
Oh yeah, I forgot that in the introduction. A former cowboy along with the rest of the tour. Sweet. Well, cool, Ed. Well, we're down in Panama this week. I thought no better person to bring on than a former legend down there. Before I get started, I do want to say, before I forgot, Max mentioned to me last week, and I completely forgot about it. I remember driving past. We'll get into the infamous bus. I remember missing a cut on Friday, hopping on that long bus back to the commune hotel area, and Max looks over with like the straightest face. He was like, to be completely honest, if I have to come back to Panama, I think it's going to be more profitable just to take the week off and caddy for Ed.
Well, I did have a good run. I mean, at first, we dug the jersey out of the closet from way back when, and I still have it. I'd hate to try to put it on. I know there's no way it would fit. And a second,
hanging in the back.
Yeah, hanging in the back, first and a second, and then I think another one when I was in the hunt going to the last day and dropped to 20th or something. So, obviously knew my way around that place and had good, kind of good vibes around it. So.
Right. It was, I guess we're coming, this is the 10-year anniversary. No, 2012.
Yeah, that's right. 2012. I was actually on my tour card that year, and I went down and played because I had not gotten to play more than 1 week in a row, and I'd played in Mayakoba the week before, back when it was a spring tournament, and I was going to get to play in Puerto Rico, and I was like, well, hell. So I played Mayakoba. I flew home. I tried to qualify for West Palm, maybe Honda. I think it was Honda. Yeah, I didn't make it. Like, flew back to Panama on a Tuesday night, no practice round, never seen the golf course, which that's not really a golf course you want to play, having never seen it. and
Right.
went on and shot, I think 66 the first round, and just kind of went from there. So
And went well. It looks like you shot 4 under to win, so you played the rest of the 3 rounds 2 over, which usually speaks about how crusty and windy that place can be.
yeah, actually, I think it's par 70 because I shot 66,
Or 70.
68. But yeah, I shot 74. I had a big lead. I shot 74 the last day. Ended up making an unbelievable up and down on the last hole to win the tournament. I mean, I could tell you every
Right.
hole, but yeah.
Cool.
It does get
Awesome.
windy
No,
and
and
crusty.
windy and crusty. I mentioned Luke List earlier. It's crazy. Golf's a crazy game. Obviously, he just won on the PGA Tour this past week, but he was who you edged out there. Him, Ryan Armour, Cameron Percy, and Brian Schmuck.
Yeah, I think it was like
a
4. Yeah, like a 4 or 5 man tie for second. I know all the rules.
And
I knew all the rules officials thanked me after for getting that ball up and down because they wanted to do a 2-group playoff because there were so many guys.
Right. Yeah. Was Rico still around back then? 2012.
Oh yeah, all the pretty much all the same guys.
Yeah. Yeah. No. So that, I mean, typically, as we all know, even on the PGA Tour, a 4 under winner is more like a U.S. Open. So that it can be windy out there.
And I think the year I finished second, I want to say, I don't know, I'm going to say 7 or 8. I think Langley was maybe like 8 under, so I was 6 maybe. I think that's somewhere around there. Not much more.
Yeah, no, that's nuts. So yeah, so I guess has it been 2-3 years since you decided hanging up?
Yeah, just shoot, I guess about 2.5 years now.
Yeah, what's it been like? I mean, obviously it sounds like you've been playing golf your whole life, college straight to pros. What was it like kind of dealing with not competing and settling back and being an amateur again?
Well, I'm not an amateur. I still play a couple of pro-ams.
You're right. You made too much money to get your amateur status back.
I could probably do it, Garrett, but I'm going to say it would probably take me 10 years to get it back, and who knows, I might get an itch when I 49. Right. But right now, I just turned 44. I don't miss professional golf at all. I really thought I would, honestly, after doing it for so long, but I got a great wife and 3 kids, and I'm extremely busy. My business is doing pretty good, and I get to play plenty of golf doing that. And I play a couple of pro-ams every year that are fun, and nobody cares if I shoot 72. And
right,
I've still shot. I'll still shoot 2 or 63 once a year, and it's great. I can still do it, but I don't miss it at all. Which, like I said, I think it's kind of surprising, but it.
Yeah, no, that's good.
It just kind of reiterates that what I did when I did it was, and why I did it was all right. So.
Right. That's awesome. I know that. I know most people their biggest thing is like getting stir crazy, not being on the road. Like I remember even caddying and being home for a couple of weeks. I'm like, all right, this is cool. Now it's time to be back on the road. So I'm sure it helps even having a family to be back home with.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you were, I think when you're doing it, that's very true. But now it's like, oh, you know what? I can skip the layer.
Now you don't go away for more than 2 nights.
Yeah, right. Now if I go out of town, I'm like, I'm ready to go home and
Right.
do this anymore.
Right. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Well, yeah, that was Panama 2012. I guess you were there when I was there. Are you following any of the guys like that are still out there? There's a lot of young guys that I'm still learning, but who if you had to pick a couple guys that are have their card this year that you would bet on being in the 25 at the end of the year?
Well, I mean, I would say Akshay. I can tell you a great story about him. So in 2015 at Raleigh, he was on the range and he came up and he introduced himself to me because I'm a left-hander like him, and he couldn't have been. I think he was 13 at the time, maybe. And
85 pounds.
Yeah, I mean 100 pounds soaking wet. But anyway, he introduced himself and he invited me out to play golf on Wednesday. I went in the Pro-Am, so it was me and my cousin Alex Ellis, who played golf at College of Charleston, was caddying for me. Went out and played with him at I don't remember the name of the course, some little rinky-dink uni course, but like I played really good. I shot 61, and I beat him by a shot. And man, I mean, my ass was grinding coming down the stretch. And here's this little 13-year-old little punk, and I'm like, man, this kid's about to wear me out. So, he was what, 13? Like I said, I think he was 13. So, I mean, what a first impression he made on me. And then, we played a practice round a couple years ago in Huntsville,
Alabama.
Alabama. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then obviously what a splash he's made the last couple of years. So, you got like him.
Yeah.
I mean, I still root hard for my buddy, my OSU buddy, he's a lot younger, Kevin Doherty.
Yeah, no, me too.
He came so close a couple of years ago. And then Tom Whitney's one of my favorites. I don't follow it a whole lot. Man, there's so many dang good players, as you know. But
I know.
Did you see? Guys that I have personal relationships with.
Right. Did you see Pat Newcomb won that little Monday event at Torrey Pines on Monday?
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't know what to make.
I don't know what it was. It was on Golf Channel or whatever. And I don't even know the name of it, but I saw that was a blast from the past name. I remember being out there. Yeah. Are there any Panama stories that you have off the golf course down in Panama that you can tell on the air?
Well, so I mean, I think if you look back, if you had to ask me anything about on the golf course, what favors a guy in Panama? I mean, obviously it gets crusty and windy. I think you've had some left-handed guys that have done well there. There's a lot of right to left tee shots. I think that's why I did so well there, because I could just hit my little butter fade all day. I think you've had a bunch of veterans win there because, let's face it, Panama off the golf course is a little wild, and I think kind of the older guys married that are just, all right, I want to go play golf. It's gonna wear me out because it's the first. Well, back then it was really the first hot week we had, and that's a hard golf course to walk. Most of
right.
I knew every time I got back to the hotel, I mean, it was like, just get me a shower, get me a steak at Jimmy's, and then I'm going to bed.
Right.
I always stay.
And for the listener,
go ahead.
No, I was just saying for the listeners that aren't familiar, there's some things that are legal in Panama that are highly illegal in the States for the younger people you're talking to on the golf course.
I always stay at the Hilton Garden Inn. Me and I stayed with Fritz a couple of years, Tag 1 year. There's obviously a lot of extracurricular activity that goes on. I think a lot of the young guys just get down there and it's just, oh my God, this place is amazing. And then, they have no idea what they're doing when they get to the golf course.
Right. Yeah, no. Talk to me a little bit about, you mentioned the lefty right-hander stuff for the average listener out there. So I know a lot of people are like, all right, what makes a left-handed golf course or a golf course favor lefties versus righties? For instance, you mentioned hitting that little slap draw or slap cut. Why would that be a more advantage for lefties versus a right-hander who draws the ball?
Well, really, Garrett, I just think with today's technology, the driver there's so much weight out on the toe now. It's just hard to draw them. It doesn't matter, Mm-hmm. Rory's about the only guy I can see that it's a really good draw. Most of the other lead players are all hitting cuts. And so that golf course really favors it. I mean, you could say, 1, 2, 4, 7, 9, 11, 15, 16, 18, they're all really favor a right to left shot, either because of the way the hole slopes, the way the wind blows. And, just for a lefty, I could just get up there all day and just kind of hold it right into that wind or right into that slope. And, the ball's not going to get away from you. I mean, the defense to that place is, it gets firm. Your ball rolls into the rough. The greens are really small. And, it's Bermuda rough. So, I grew up in Texas, so I've played Bermuda rough my whole life. I was really good at judging lies. Like, is this thing going to come out like a rocket or, is it going to kind of come out soft? And I think that played a lot into it. But, being able to kind of curve the ball into the fairways, to hold the fairways, to make the greens where you can hit them, because they're just, I mean, they're damn near impossible to hit out of the rough because they're so small. and they get so firm, and then you just have, you just lose control of your golf ball. And then, you know, the turf's gotten better every year, but the first few years it was always a little kind of iffy. So if you miss a green, it made it even harder to get it up and down, and the greens got really fast. And that obviously makes chipping and pitching a lot harder as well.
Right. Yeah, interesting. No, and now that you say that, I think Scott Langley even won down there too.
Yeah, he won the year that I finished second.
Okay.
What was that? 2018, I think. Yeah, 19 was the last year I played. So yeah, 2018 he finished first. I finished second. Then obviously I won in 2012. I think Eric Axley's won there.
Lefty.
So
what he's doing now.
Who knows? Who knows what any of us are doing anymore?
Yeah.
So I think it really favors a guy that hits the right to left ball. I mean, honestly.
Davis Riley, even who won, is one of, and he is a draw. He's one of the guys who can work it right to left. So it does make sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, all you bettors out there, the right to left, whether it's lefties that faded or righties that draw, like Rory, that's who to look out for this week.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool. Good deal. The one more question I did want to ask and bring up and just kind of pick your brain on what, from a career standpoint, what was a bigger accomplishment? What do you take more pride in? Your win down here at Panama in 2012, or knocking out someone's knocking out the front teeth of a Tiger Woods fan back in the late 90s?
Now, let me tell you, man, that was one of the more nerving days of golf I've ever had. And obviously that was kind of the culmination of the whole day. So I was just out of high school. I was about to go to school at Oklahoma State. So this was the the summer of '96. This was peak Tiger right before he turned pro. He's playing the Western Amateur at Point of Woods. So back then, I think you still do. You played 18 2 days in a row. Then they cut to the low 50, and then you played 36 to get into the Sweet 16. So I played real good the first 2 days. And so for 36 holes, I was playing in front of Tiger. Now, man, my parents let me go play the Northeast that summer and then the Western. So this is my second big amateur tournament. And I couldn't even pull it back. So, the worst place to say it is to play in front of him because everyone goes ahead to try to get in position. So we're playing, and they moved the tees up. I'll never forget. It's number 8. It was a short par 4. They moved the tees up to where you could drive it. And I'd hit a 3-wood in the short bunker, 30 yards short. And man, I just sculled this sand wedge. And this dude was not paying attention over the back of the green and just, right to the mouth. And I get back there, it was like Mike Tyson punched him. There was just blood coming everywhere. And I'm just shaking. I don't know. I think I made a 6 or a 7 on the hole, and I ended up shooting about 83 or 4 that round. I was
right,
completely toast. But
you're already nervous. Well, what do you? You're too young to even know. What do you do? Sign the guy a glove? You're like, I can't sign.
Yeah, right.
I'm not on a glove deal yet.
Hey, here's the ball I just hit you in the mouth with, Mister. But that's good.
I wonder. Yeah, I would love to know where that. I would love to know where that guy is, and if he's ever watched Tiger play again, or he learned his lesson from Ed Loar.
Well, if he did, hopefully the next time he was paying attention.
Right. That you would think that seems like one of those guys that would show up at one of your events 10, 15 years later or something, and hey, remember you knocking me in the mouth with a golf ball?
The guy in Happy Gilmore, pops out of the
That's all. No, I remember you telling me that. I don't know where we were. I think we were in, I don't know, Kansas City or something. We were paired a couple times that year. I don't know what the situation was. Probably Maximilian. Yeah, that was when Big Don was hoofing your sticks.
Yeah, before before he got lost in a kayak in the Bahamas a couple years ago.
I completely forgot. You were on the tee, right?
Yeah, he showed up in the middle of the first fairway. Oh my gosh! Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, for those not obviously listening, we were down. This would have been a better story for a couple weeks ago, but it was Abaco or Exuma.
Abaco,
It was
yeah.
Abaco. Yeah. So last week,
We had a delay. We had to come back and play one hole and then wait, and so no idea when we were going to tee off, and then I'm sitting down having breakfast, and I see him out kayaking, and then comes out. I'm the first group off. I'm like, well, where's Dom? All right, can somebody get my bag? And then I wouldn't have been in the Bahamas. I would have been like, no, get your ass out of here. But whatever. It's a good story.
That's awesome. That is a good story. Yeah, cool. Well, Ed, I appreciate you taking the time to come on late night, and glad to hear you're doing well. And hopefully, I got to get my index down a little bit so we can play in some pro scratch stuff.
You still swinging it sweet, G?
I'm trying to swing it sweet.
I gotta ask you though. I see in your background. Is that a set of right-handed clubs in the background, or is your camera?
I think it's just the camera turned around. It's a bunch of lefty.
Okay.
It's a bunch of lefty clubs with an old Project X bag that I don't think it was T-Bill. It was the tour guy when I caddied a couple tour events last year for Tane Lee, a Monday qualifier.
So Tane Lee.
I came out of retirement.
He played good last week, didn't he? I saw or something.
He did. Yeah, no, he Mondayed into like 5 events last year, and I caddied for him at Congaree, which is where I used to club caddy. I'd never met him. We had mutual connections, and we were winning the tournament on Saturday afternoon. He ended up finishing I think T11, which was obviously one away to get into the next week, and then he Mondayed into the Rocket Mortgage, and we missed the cut, and he finished I don't know, a couple bucks outside the top 200 to make it to finals. So he went all the way back to first stage and went all the way through to final stage. And then, yeah,
man, good for him. He's been at it. I mean, I used to see him at a bunch of Monday Qs, and that man has done a lot of Monday qualifiers. So good for him.
Oh yeah. 30, he's like 32 or 31 or 32. So yeah, another testament to the grind and how long it takes some guys to, Luke List couldn't even win on the Korn Ferry Tour. Ed Loar was kicking his ass 10 years ago, and now he's a tour winner.
That was good to see, man. He's a good dude, and has obviously been after it for a long time. So that was cool. I mean, I'm a big Zalatoris fan, being from Dallas, known him since he was, about 3 foot high. But I mean, man, what a shot he hit in that playoff! That was awesome.
Oh, it was unbelievable. Are you playing any golf with any of the pros down there?
I really haven't. I've tried to hook up with Doherty a couple times. We just haven't got it done.
He's too busy doing yoga and cryotherapy or something.
He's doing a workout or something. I mean, but no, I haven't. I kind of live on the east side of town, and most of them are kind of on the other side of town. It hadn't really been a priority. I would love to do it, but I just haven't really got to do it yet.
Good deal. Cool. Awesome. Well, Ed, thanks again for coming on, and hopefully it won't be long before we reconnect. You
got it, man. Tell old DB and Pat the Big E said hello, okay, G?
I will.
All right, man. Ed. Take care.
Peace. Alrighty, that was Ed Loar. Hopefully he could bring some insight into the course this week and share a couple laughs and some funny stories. That's it for the pod. I will see you guys next week, and keep those screens green and find me some winners.